Welcome to Off the Cuff, episode 23, where we answer your questions about LEGO. If you have questions for us for next month, please drop them in the comments below so we can answer them for you. Today we've got a whole host of topics, including GWPs, Bricklink designer program, minifig vending machine, One Piece theme, Luma bricks, and LEGO sales. And be sure to stick around for the end when we talk about Castle and Modulars.
Ooh, okay. I love those.
Yeah. All right, our first question is in regards to the Jane Austen GWP.
Okay.
Mr. Viscom78 says, if this set was to compete in a gift with purchase contest or be on a Bricklink or LEGO Ideas, would you consider it a potential winner or would you pass it over?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have to think of all these GWP from the most recent years off the top of my head. So let's see. I mean, in terms of ranking my favorite GWPs, of course, we're all going to have our biases. It's subjective to the themes that we really like. Personally, I think the Forest Hideout might be my favorite GWP of all time, just because it's Castle, it's a remake of a really nice set from the 1980s, it has great minifigs, and it was actually available at multiple times, which really was a nice thing for LEGO to do. I would also add to that, Ray's Castaway was a really good one. The Blacktron Cruiser was a really good one. The Books Are My Passion was great, so that might be like second on my list. This one is really good.
Also those little houses.
Oh, the Houses of the World. Yeah,
Yeah.
Autumn loved those. Yeah, those are really excellent as well. So I think this one is high up there, probably top 5. Would it win? I think it could. I mean, I don't know if I would personally vote for it over a Castle or pirate-related GWP that was really well executed, but this has a lot of appeal, and that's why I really, really enjoyed the build, and I thought it was very, very well done. And I also think it has an audience, honestly, that would show up and vote for it if it were in a competition, an ideas competition, a Bricklink designer program type thing. I don't think it would do well in a Bricklink designer program just because of the size. I think they typically like to have like $50 sets as the floor for the price. But you could do something like that, Jane Austen related, and you might do pretty well. Because I think LEGO is looking to try to reach out to more of a female audience now, and as opposed to like when I was a kid, where they dabbled a little bit with Scala in the 1990s and Belleville, and I don't know. I see some of their stuff now just more intentionally trying to tap into that market. So
Yeah, and as the LEGO Friends fans grow up,
yeah,
they're gonna have more of a female adult audience, probably for the first time, a significant one. I mean, obviously there's ones now, but
yeah,
we're probably going to see more of that.
that's a good point.
If it were an idea set that we could just go out and purchase, honestly, I probably would have wanted to get it because it is a small set, so it's not like you're spending a ton of money on it. And we do have a couple family members that are big Jane Austen fans, so it would be fun to have because of that. If it were just Colin, who's not a particularly big Jane Austen fan, probably not.
I did mention that in the video. I was like, yeah, I had to read one of the books when I was in high school, and that's about it. But yeah, I think there is a huge, I mean, she's an incredible author and is very, very well regarded by a lot of fans today. Like, it's not like she just had her moment in time. So yeah, I think it's definitely one that has a lot of legs to it.
All right, on one of our videos, Colin was wearing a shirt, not this exact shirt, but it was a shirt that said 2024 across, and Monk5763 asked, what's on the t-shirt?
Oh, that's why I had to wear a shirt like this.
Yeah.
She tells me what to wear for these videos. So, yeah, so I was wearing that shirt. It has the outline of Honduras, as does this one here. This one just much smaller and had 2024. I go to Honduras with my job as well as another organization once or twice a year. So I do a lot of public health work down there, data collection and program evaluation. So we do a lot of that. Julia has, apparently, that's why you wore that shirt. She's got a shirt from when she went down to Honduras with me once. And yeah, so we actually work with clean water projects and other public health endeavors in rural Honduras. There's a area specifically that we work in, and a dozen communities that we've consistently worked in over the last 5 years or so. And yeah, we actually donate 10% of all channel revenue to clean water projects in Honduras with an organization called Mission Honduras. It's a nonprofit based in Ohio, the United States of America, and 100% of all proceeds go directly to work on the ground there. The people that help make the decisions there take no salary. So it's very much a good return on investment if people donate. So yeah, I'll put the link down to Mission Hunters in the description below. But that's why I wear the shirts. I've got a bunch of them, and so because we get one like every single trip. So yeah.
Also, you can watch this video that gives a little bit more in-depth information if you're interested in learning more about clean water. And there's also a link in that video for donating if you would like to donate to the clean water directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next question is regarding the minifig vending machine here. Astronerd XO wants to know, what size are the capsules?
The capsules are actually bigger than I thought they would be. Just because like you have to fit all the minifig components into it. So if you were to say, hold it up, you know, here's a 2x2 comparison right here, and it's significantly bigger than that. I would say it's probably like about 5 studs round, so in diameter.
A little over an inch wide.
Yeah, and it's a very large, really compartment that allows you to put a lot of stuff in it. I know that Jane Grix has done a review of this set and compared it to a Fantasy, a gumball dispenser or prize dispenser that has a little bit smaller. These are definitely bigger than like the rubber bouncy balls that we have here in the United States. I don't know if other people have them as kids or anything like that. I loved them because I was a boy and they went all over the place and made a big mess. So that's why I loved them. But they're bigger than that, and yeah, about an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch in diameter.
Ominous Mortis says, the new wave of One Piece pirates looks incredible, especially the Going Merry ship. What are your thoughts on that theme?
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So I will disclaim that I have not watched One Piece. We don't actually have Netflix. We have Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, but we don't have Netflix right now. So I haven't seen One Piece. Just looking at the sets as a pirate fan, I think there's a lot of potential there. That ship in particular is really nice to be getting another pirate ship. It's been a long time since we've had an actual pirate ship. So I welcome the One Piece line. I think that the sets are generally pretty well executed from a pirate fan perspective. Again, I can't evaluate the accuracy of the sets compared to the Netflix show. And I know there's an anime show that also is in existence that's not on Netflix, right? So there's all these different layers to it. I think that it's nice because what you'll end up seeing, hopefully, is that Lego, by producing this, is going to have a lot of pieces available that they could use in pirate sets that if they want to do one-offs, so that's a benefit. If you're a fan and these pieces make it to pick and build online, you can order some of them, things like cannons or things that might, make better masting. Also, rumor is that we're having a Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl coming out later this year. So with the One Piece as well as that, I think there's a lot to like as a pirate fan. Now, I will also say that the Verity or whatever, I don't know.
The floating restaurant.
The floating restaurant is very, very interesting. It's very well done. I think it's going to be absolutely massive because it doesn't have a back to it, which I know some people really, really like the closed back approach of many sets. This one's open back, but it's going to be massive, and there's so many creative things to it. I think it's going to be a hit. So there's a lot to like with these sets if you're a Pirates fan, and I hope that Lego will do at least some more one-offs in terms of icons. I mean, we've been fortunate to have, between ideas and icons, the Pirates of Barracuda Bay, the Eldorado Fortress, even the Ray's Castaway Gift with Purchase, and now if we're getting One Piece, and if it continues in multiple waves, that's really good. I don't know if you had a chance to look at those, or if you, I know you were a pirate fan, a little bit when you were a kid, Lego Pirates. Or
I didn't really do much with pirates,
Your brother
but
had
a
some.
little bit. Yeah. They look really cool. I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Aful637 wants to know, why are Bricklink designer series so expensive? They usually don't have new pieces, or there are no cost for ideas, concept, design, etc.
I mean, I think the simple answer is they're large and they have a lot of pieces to them. I think so let's unpack this a little bit, because Lego pricing is something that is really contentious right now among Lego fans, especially it's worldwide, but even here in the United States with tariffs that are increasing the prices on a lot of things, we're seeing a lot of uncertainty with prices when Lego sets are leaked in terms of like what the price might be. It might start off at one price, like the Book Nooks were like $120, then they were $130. So I think pricing is something that a lot of LEGO fans are talking about right now. And I don't know the exact breakdown of a LEGO set in terms of how much goes to the design, the research, the testing, the production, and all of that versus, you know, an idea set. Because idea sets, again, different than Bricklink Designer Program, but idea sets do go through an official design process, even if the idea itself comes from LEGO fans. The Bricklink Designer Program, if you look at the price per piece, and I know that that's not a perfect metric, but the price per piece is typically fairly good for the Bricklink Designer Program compared to what we're seeing with a lot of LEGO sets now. Also, I think it's important to keep in mind that when LEGO fans design these sets, they are oftentimes intentionally putting rare or expensive parts in the sets because they like those pieces. You know, for instance, imagine a castle that's going to have a lot of 1x2 bricks versus a lot of 1x2 profile bricks. There could be a price differential between those two pieces. They can functionally serve as the same type of thing, same space, same purpose of building a wall or something like that, but one might cost a little bit more. Now, you think of larger pieces, and so the larger plates that it might take to build the base for these sets, or some of the accessories that people put in. I know some of them oftentimes call for dual molded legs, which are more expensive than regular legs, or printing on the legs versus non-printing on the legs. So I think it really depends on not just the number of pieces, but the type of pieces that go into the Bricklink Designer Program sets. Now, just again, on its face, if you look at the Thieves of Tortuga or the Adventures in Transylvania, which are both available for purchase, or are, I think when we're recording this, I think it's the last few days of pre-order, the reality is, like, there's still 4,000 pieces. That adds up to a lot, and it's not going to be cheap for LEGO to make them. Again, I don't know what the profit margin is on any of these sets for LEGO, so I can't claim to know. But that's still a lot of pieces. Even the popcorn cart, which I think looks really cool, is, pretty good price per piece ratio. And so I think that's where a lot of the cost comes in. I think it's just a lot of pieces, and LEGO has decided it's not super cheap to make them. And I know that there are a lot of complaints. Pricing has really been, again, a hot issue among LEGO fans. But I think that's, the two big reasons why. Because LEGO does cap the amount of minifigs you can have depending on the number of pieces. So I think it may be minifigs just in terms of the pieces and the printing and the involvement of that, but I think just the number of pieces and then the complexity of those pieces that fans who design these kinds of things love to put expensive pieces that may not be super common but are available on Bricklink.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you've mentioned before that some of the LEGO designers have to work within certain piece constraints to make it more efficient financially, whereas if you have someone doing the Bricklink Designer Program, they're probably not thinking about that in terms of financial efficiency.
Yeah, a great example of that is if you look at the interior of any set, even this vending machine, you'll find that there are parts within it that don't make sense for the color scheme of the set, and that's because those pieces aren't seen from the outside, but there might be just a little bit cheaper to produce a yellow 1x2 brick compared to a sand green 1x2 brick or something like that. And so LEGO will put different colors. It's not always just for cost. It is sometimes for if you've got, right now I'm building Gringotts, but they want to make sure that you're keeping certain things on the right side, the correct side. So they might use different colors to indicate that's going to be the left, that's going to be the right. You see that with the Standard 5. I remember building that. But yeah, some of it is just some of the colors are cheaper to produce. And Bricklink Designer Program sets aren't thinking about that because you don't know. We don't have that information. We don't have a software program that's going to tell us exactly how much each piece costs to produce. And if you're given a budget, that's what the only restraints put on the Bricklink Designer Program are a 4,000 piece cap, like that in that regard, as far as I know. So you're not going to get the price per piece or the production cost breakdown as a LEGO designer would.
Our next question is back to this vending machine. Ian Benson 773 wants to know, did you have any problem with the mechanism? Mine won't turn on testing.
I made one mistake when I initially started building it. And that actually dealt with the mechanism right down in here, like right where you kind of reach your finger on the side, that I built something upside down. And by upside down, I actually built it like the right way up, but it wasn't supposed to go that way. So that was causing some problems with that. So the mechanism does work. I think you'd have to go back and look toward the beginning of the mechanism to make sure that you have that built correctly. Just because there is a lot. It's not a simple contraption. It doesn't take up a ton of space, but it is very creatively done. So it really is, if you look at this, the coin has to be pushed in all the way, right? So, and I doubt that's the problem. Like if you only push it in a little bit, it may not turn. So you have to really push it in the whole way. And then there's, down here, there's a thing that can catch. And that's what I ran into when I built it the first time, actually, to go in and take part of it out and redo it. So, yeah. I mean, I will say, like, we ran this problem with the Ninjago City workshops where we struggled with the garage door because it was difficult to actually get that contraption right in the building instructions. There's just a little bit of nuance to that, and ours didn't work quite right.
Yeah, it still doesn't work quite right.
Well, we didn't go back and fix it.
I don't know if there's anything wrong though.
Yeah, there is. It does work smoothly because I've seen a lot of other people do it. We just have to go back and take that part apart and fix it. But yeah.
All right.
That's the fun about Technic contraptions, right? Is that the more complex they get, the easier it is to get something wrong, and then it doesn't work. And that in and of itself can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah. All right, next question is from Josh Staffieri, who wants to know, have you seen and or considered any of Lumabricks, formerly Funhole, medieval sets to add to your castle theme? The fact they come with light kits, no stickers, but printed pieces and a third of the cost of Lego captured my eye. Love the fact that competitors are hopefully pushing Lego to still give us nothing but the best.
Yeah, I mean, I actually really agree with that. I think it's very important that Lego face competition just because it keeps them more honest, right? I mean, I love Lego as a product. I don't know if I love the company. I mean, all the things that go on with the way that prices have been going right now, it's been pretty frustrating. And if you watch some of our recent videos, like I've talked about, like don't get sets on day one, just because like unless you're doing the YouTube thing or you're a huge fan, sometimes it just makes sense to wait because inevitably you can get them at either a discount directly or indirectly through double insiders points or GWP or that's other things to offset costs. And I think one thing that can help with that, look at like Lumabricks or Fantasy or some of these other companies. I know Mega. I guess it's Mattel, but they have their Mega Constructs, which used to be Mega Blocks, I think. They're kind of opening this new line of building sets that are supposed to compete with Lego at the 18+ market. And that actually, I think, is a good thing. Hopefully, people are going to go to, like, I like the designs, I like how they look, I like how they build, I like how they interact or they play or they function. And they're going to go, ideally, where they find the best combination of price and all those things. So Lumabricks is an interesting case because they are a lot cheaper in terms of cost. They are lacking the stickers that annoy me. Like, I don't hate stickers as much as some people, but it is frustrating to have like a $429 Gringotts, and I'm building it right now. But like putting that Gringotts sign together is just so frustrating because the stickers are never going to look very good at the front of that. And it's a $430 set, and the idea that you have to put stickers on the front of something and they get crooked just really bothers me. And I know I'm ranting about stickers, but like that's a big thing for fans. And so if Lumabricks or Fantasy don't have stickers and they do prints and they have lights in them that can really add versatility to your display, absolutely take a look at those. And if you like them, buy them. Like send that message to Lego. I have zero problems with people getting those sets or sending those messages. For me personally, I have no problem looking into getting those. Our Lego or building set budget is more it's going to be taken up by Lego at this point in time. For a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not like we make like tons of money on this channel, so it goes toward like channel things. And then the other thing is there's not as big of a fan base for those. And so if I look at just the return on investment and not invest like I'm buying a set, holding on to it for 5 years and then selling it, but investment in terms of I'm buying a set, I'm reviewing it, and I'm taking a look at different things, like we're not big enough that would earn the money back, if that makes sense. So I'd be definitely interested in doing that at some point, maybe just to try it out. But yeah, I've noticed some of those, definitely.
Our next question comes from Michael Emond, 7315. Will the Avengers Tower go on sale? Maybe it already did and I missed it. It seems to me some sets do go on sale, but some of the more popular ones don't.
I'm asking that same question right now because along with Gringotts, it's one of two large sets that I want to make sure that I get before it retires, mainly because it does fit within a modular city in terms of compatibility. I know it's really tall, but with the Bugle that we picked up last year, I've been eyeing the Avengers Tower, and I'm looking for it to go on sale. I think you're right in that it's very rare for the popular sets to go on sale. Like, if you look at it, the Millennium Falcon, I was just at the Lego store the other day picking up some stuff for my mom, right? Because she was asking us to get stuff, and that's how we got the Jane Austen GWP. Pointing out to Kiara that Millennium Falcon has been on the shelf for almost like 8 years. It came out, I think, 2017. The Massive Hogwarts came out in, I think, 2018, and they're just now getting around to retiring that. That 7-year shelf life is a really long time for a Lego set. Mm-hmm. And so that indicates that there's demand for it, which means that there might be less incentive for Lego to put it on sale. What I do know is there are specific times during the year that Lego will put stuff on sale. If you're into Star Wars, May 4th or like May 1st through 4th is a great time to get Lego Star Wars. The other time is around Black Friday, that whole weekend. You can get really good deals. And if you go to the Lego store, you might get double insider's points, triple insider's points, depending on sets. And so I'm actually angling to maybe get that set around that time because of that double or triple insider's points incentive, or even a sale price where you might be able to get it 10 to 15% off. So that's what I'm banking on to get that set before it retires. But yeah, it is playing a little bit of like a roulette kind of game because you just don't know, and if you wait too long, then it retires or you can't find it. Like, Gringotts isn't retired, but our Lego store, when I bought that, Gringotts had 2 copies left. One on the shelf and one in the back, and now that one in the back is sitting on the table in front of the cash register with the Titanic and the Eiffel Tower. So it's like, hey, these are retiring, we're getting rid of these, we don't want them to take shelf space anymore. So they haven't done that with the Avengers Tower yet.
Okay, so you wanted a modular question. We got a modular question. Sweet. From Let's Do Science. But it's also talking about the Bricklink Designer Program. So we kind of got 2 subjects within one here. All right, his question is, where are the modular submissions? Is Lego blocking them or something? The most desirable Bricklink sets are all modulars. Lego store, bowling alley, construction site.
Answer to your question is yes. Lego is blocking them. I did a video, I think it was last year, where Lego changed the requirements and rules around the Bricklink Designer Program. Included in those rules are that it cannot be a modular building. It can be a structure. It can be a structure that could be adapted for a modular building, but you would actually have to make those changes yourself. So they have basically said no more modular submissions, which had the unintended consequence of taking those prior Bricklink Designer Program sets that were modular compatible and jacking up the price. Because then people are like, okay, well, then we know that we're not going to be able to get future modular buildings from the Bricklink Designer Program. Let's go out and get the past ones. So we're not going to be seeing modular buildings through the BDP anymore. That said, I don't think it takes a lot of creativity to maybe take some of them that will come out. For instance, the university that's coming out in Bricklink Designer Program Series 8. So these were just announced at Brick World Chicago, and the university is one that I think could be modular compatible if you make some adjustments to it. Just in terms of the Technic bricks and maybe putting base, I don't know if it's built on a base plate or just regular plates, but I think there are ways to do that. So I would imagine that on Rebrickable, or if you just want to problem solve it on your own, you could find a way to do that. There aren't a lot of those style sets being approved through the Bricklink Designer Program at this moment, but I think in the future, if the series continues, then you might get an occasional one that can be very easily modified into a modular building. The other thing I would say, if you want more modular buildings, there are 2 other avenues to look at. Number 1, of course, is the Marvel modulars, which I know have been expensive, and I really do think that X-Mansion was very expensive for what you get. But maybe find that one on discount. The other is finding existing sets that are relatively cheap and getting multiple copies, and then filling in with your own collection. And Rebrickable is a great place to find instructions for sets like that. I'm eyeing, for instance, the Haunted Mansion that's coming out in August as one that if you buy like a couple copies and you have pieces for $180 plus some of your own pieces, you might be able to get a good modular style building. So those are some tips to increase your modular building footprint if you're looking for, ideas where you don't have to like completely build it from scratch yourself.
Why do you think that LEGO doesn't want modulars, just to drive up the purchase of their official ones?
No, because I don't think they have any issues with that. Like those sets fly off the shelves, I think, reasonably well as long as they're well designed and well executed. I think the Tudor Corner is one that's going to be around for a long time on shelves because it does have, I think, not just a really good design, but it's unique. And you look at the Assembly Square. Well, I think it was available for 7 years on shelves. Like the really good design modulars will be available for a long time. So I don't think it's that. I think it's they were inundated with submissions for modular buildings that, they didn't want that. And maybe some of it was competition. Like, they're just, like, tired of having to, like, look at all the modulars because people are going to just vote modulars. And it's just going to happen every single time. And maybe they don't like all the competition for that. Maybe they have designs to give us more modular compatible sets that are not officially modulars. I don't know. But I do think, you saw a lot of modulars, and you see a lot of castle and medieval for the Bricklink Designer Program submissions. And it's like inevitable that you're going to get at least one castle set every single series just because there are so many castle fans out there and so many really good designs out there that people are going to be voting for those. So maybe they just were tired of that. I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me because it seems like if something is super popular that people love to do it, why would you just cut it out? Like, that's what they want to buy.
I don't know. I mean, it could be something more. Again, it's just some speculation here. It could be that they don't want to have the 32 by 32 base plates. I mean, I don't know. Lego's clearly moved away from that outside of modular compatible buildings in their sets, right? Because if you look at, Harry Potter, if you look at Lord of the Rings, if you look at even just city buildings, they're not using the 16 by 32 or the 32 by 32 base plates anymore, right? They're using regular plates, or in some cases with the city, they're using the roads that people use for mills construction. I don't know. I don't know those internal conversations. What we do know, though, is that they don't want modular submissions in the Bricklink Designer Program, and they've basically said if you submit them, it's just not going to be included. And is it a competition? Maybe. I don't think it's hurting the popularity of current modulars. I think it's people that are already modular fans are looking for more to add to it, and for whatever reason.
All right, final question. Referring to your doubling of the medieval town square, Angelo Medeiros 493 says, was this difficult?
Yes and no. So I'll move. So we got some of the medieval market from 2007 here. So I'll just kind of move these a bit off to the side, but these here, and then maybe it's downstairs still with my kids playing with it. So some of the sections were not very difficult to double up. I would say that this was the easiest one here. This one was a little bit difficult just with the back and making sure that it could close because you have some of the roof overhangs. You want to be careful with that. But I would say the more difficult one was the armor shop, just because there was it was very difficult to double that up, and I ended up going with a mirror image. There are always decisions you have to make when you decide to take two copies of a set, put them together, and because of that, there's so many different ways it could turn out. I like how ours turned out. I think people probably could have done a better job than me, or if you took two and you wanted to do something custom, I think there are probably some really good rebrickable instructions out there. But yeah, I think it wasn't too bad. It's just you're going to have to think about it for a little bit, which if your mind works like that, great. If not, you can use YouTube or Rebrickable or Google for inspiration or ways to solve those problems. But good question, and I'm glad we were able to get a couple of these because it's not as good as a Line Ice Castle, but it's a pretty good set. Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, ring the bell for notifications, and always remember to keep building together.